Just being disrespectful to Rodri. Pedri is the best midfielder in the world by a landslide. There's not one.
Man are probably going to this as underdogs, but United fans acting like the main men in this tie.
How do you say I am?
Je suis.
Je suis très tranquille.
Yeah.
He even said it in Spanish.
How do I say I am?
Je suis.
Je suis le ice cube.
Okay, fair. Okay.
Bonjour, bienvenue le breakthepress. Avec moi, we have Drake.
Oh, you didn't let me speak.
Hey.
They speak French there in Canada.
Yeah.
Do
They
the
do.
Canadian accent?
I can't do it.
You know?
Hey?
Come on, Crody.
Hey?
Oh, that's.
Hey, how you doing, Drake?
Why is it me?
Ça va?
Let's
Come
talk
on,
about the Arsenal
Drake.
fan
Drake,
here.
go on, Drake.
ça va?
I've been good. I've watched Arsenal
bien,
lose,
bien.
which is
Je
very
m'appelle
good.
your music.
Avec
what?
Drake, we got Abid, the Arsenal fan. Slightly deflated, but ça va?
How do you say calm in French?
God.
Tranquille.
How do you say very?
That's Spanish.
Doesn't matter.
How do you say very?
Très.
How do you say I am?
Je suis.
Je suis très tranquille.
Yeah.
He even said it with Spanish.
How do I say I am?
Je suis.
Je suis le ice cube.
Okay, fair. Okay.
Alright. I mean, look, you already could tell how I was feeling.
Yeah.
But, you know what, we'll start with Abid today. So, we've got, the French coming to London and pulling a performance. 1-0 up in the first leg against Arsenal. Abid, off the back of your Real Madrid performance, I mean, how are you feeling? Let's talk about that before the game. How are you feeling after the game?
Je suis ice cube.
Is that all you're gonna say today?
I'm calm. No, I'm calm. Listen, is it bad that we lost 1-0? Yes. Am I annoyed? Yes. Am I very annoyed? Yes. Am I calm? More than anything, because we lost 1-0, but honestly, I think out of the two sides, it's gonna sound stupid, but I would actually be in this position. I'll tell you why. Because number one, that 30 minutes, the first 30 minutes of that game was like the only time I think I've experienced being dominated like that in like the last 4, 5, maybe even 10 years was the City game, the 4-1 game at the Etihad, where we were just getting dominated. And it's not like, when we sit back and we're resolute. They constantly found holes, they constantly found passes, and we could have been looking at a 3-0 down, right? We could have. Their first goal, it comes from a 26 pass move, where they play out of our press really well.
Mm-hmm.
There's the extra man Dembele dropping deep, basically playing as a centre mid. He goes out to Kvaratskhelia. Declan Rice, who's in the middle, is going to help Timber, which I see some people criticising for. No, that's what you're supposed to do, because the imminent danger is there, right? So what Declan Rice is doing is going to support Timber to close the space down for a 2v1. Whose fault is it? It's Mikel Merino, because he's jogging back, right? And instead of going to the ball, he's just in the back, on the other side of the play, where the ball's not there. You're not going to influence the play there. What he should have done is picked up Dembele. He didn't. And Dembele, what a finish. Incredible.
Yeah, very good finish.
Incredible finish from a guy that, I rate as a footballer, but I think, his campaign's a bit overrated.
I mean, this season's been very clinical, probably his best.
Yeah, I mean,
guaranteed his clinical season.
Yeah, he done me, he shut me up.
Yeah, he did. And he had a good game, I think, today.
No, I don't think
Do you not think? You always say this about Dembele.
No, but what did he do?
I feel like the way he's dropped deep, I think Saliba couldn't really
Nah,
go
man.
deep with him. I think the way he played was smart.
This-
Very high IQ play.
This is, I'm not saying you, but I'm saying social media, this is like disgusting, what's the word? This is a disgusting prescription of winning bias. Because
Why?
I was seeing Desiree Doué, Neymar performance. I was seeing Kvaratskhelia
Nah, I don't think-
apparently ripping up Timber. Was I watching the same game? Because Kvaratskhelia lost the most duels in the match. So he lost 11. How many dribbles do you think he attempted the whole game?
Like 11, 12?
2.
Really?
2.
Nah, there's no way.
You did 2.
I can remember 3 times that he went on against Timber.
And how many times was he successful?
You're thinking of 1v1, so he
What?
actually dribbled at him.
Yeah.
I don't think he dribbled at him. He just like was.
How many do you
direct.
think
Yeah.
out of 2 he was successful?
None, 0.
0.
Yeah.
Really?
How many passes did he do into the final third?
1.
2. How many crosses did he do?
Not many crosses.
1.
How many were successful?
0.
0. I love Kvaratskhelia. I absolutely, he's probably one of my favorite, probably top 5 players. And I'm not even just saying this to defend Timber because he's Arsenal. I generally don't know what the reaction was, because I was watching that game. Their front three didn't do much. In the build-up, sure, Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, he did that thingy you can argue is a penalty. I personally don't think so, but you guys can argue. Other than that, I don't know what Kvaratskhelia did. On the other hand, on the other side, let's talk about Desiree Doué, because he did not get past Miles Skelly once.
That's true. That's true.
He
That's
didn't.
100%. That's facts.
And then people are saying that they swapped sides to deal with Timber. When Doué went on the Timber side, he didn't do anything.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's a reason why I'm calm. Because this PSG team that's supposed to be so fluid and so this and that, and they tortured us, which they did. But they scored 1 goal.
That's true.
And it was a goal that came from defensive mistakes. It wasn't a goal where they opened us up as such, because
Yeah.
we still had about 6-7 players defending the box.
Yeah.
So the whole 90, other than the Barcola chance and the
Well, Ramos.
Ramos chance,
chance.
which again were mistakes from Arsenal because the ball was just getting pinged about. What did they actually do to penetrate us? I don't think they did
That's
anything.
true.
Now, on the other hand, you can say Arsenal didn't do anything, and that's true. We didn't. It was just Saka against the rest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's another game where Odegaard is invisible. And, you know, I've been done with him for months, man. And, look, really, I'm thinking about it. You know, how can you win a Champions League with 10 men? You can't.
That's true.
You can't. He's a parasite. I'm so sorry to say, but he's a
Ah.
parasite.
That's crazy.
And if there's Arsenal fans that still support him, nah, I'm sorry. Like, you need to check your eyes and you need to take off the agenda glasses, because this guy's been horrid for months. And some people are saying he's playing for an injury.
Yeah.
Brother, don't play then.
That's what I was gonna say as well. Like, people are making an excuse that he's been injured. Or
If you're
whatever.
injured, don't play.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. 100%. You just have to play it like. That
You
makes
could
it's
say
just common
Arteta, why is
sense.
Arteta keep playing him?
That's a slight kind of moan I can have at Arteta. Why is he playing him? But again, I don't blame Arteta for playing him, because he's supposed to be this guy. He's supposed to be
But
the captain.
let's see if he is playing for an injury. I feel like the way that he's like, look, I think my main criticism is that Ethan, you guys, I mean, look, you already said yourself that the league was done, right?
Yeah.
And you're still playing. Erdegaard played all those last few league games. He started every single one, even with the injury, even though it was not necessary. I mean, what, you guys played through West Ham? Well, West Ham
Brentford
was
West
as well,
Ham,
Brentford.
Brentford.
like games that you probably could have won, and some of them were home games. Games that you probably could have won without Erdegaard in the team.
Everton.
Everton as well, yeah. Games that you probably could have won without Erdegaard in the team. And even if you was, I mean, look, the title was done. Liverpool, congratulations, they won the league already. We didn't mention it, but, this Champions League
Congratulations.
section. But they already
Nah,
won the
bro.
league already, right? Now, is this not the time where you're going to, like, you try mix up, try players that you haven't seen before? Players like Ethan Ranieri, who you guys have been already saying that he's a star boy. He's the guy that's the next coming up. Is it not time for him to get a few minutes, at least a start or two against someone that you're more comfortable against?
No, but look, see, this is why I don't blame Arteta, because this is our biggest game.
That's true.
I wouldn't start Ethan. I'm done with Odegaard. For months I'm done with it. I promise I would let him go for free.
Okay.
If that meant that we could sign someone else or play Ethan or he's out the club, I would get him gone for free.
Yeah, but at least 45 minutes. He came on the 90th minute.
And he did more in about 5 minutes than Odegaard did the whole
Exactly,
game.
that's what I'm saying.
But look, from Arteta's standpoint, I understand it, because again, this is a big game. You'd expect Odegaard to step up now, and remember, Ethan, he's 18. He's not played these games. So from a manager's standpoint, I can understand why. But I get your point. I think Ethan should have come on maybe 60th, 70th,
100%.
80th.
And I feel like that comes with the fact that if he actually plays some of the league games, because let's say he did
Yeah.
come on half time in some of
Yeah.
the league games and he put up numbers, you
Yeah.
wouldn't be saying that. Of course, you would be saying that he's inexperienced in the league games, but you'd be saying he's got the quality to
Yeah.
be players. Because in the Premier League, let's say against West Ham he got a goal or an assist,
Yeah.
or let's say he got one assist against Everton or something, or maybe something so clinical.
There'd be
like
more confidence.
There's so much
Yeah,
more
no,
confidence, and he'll have more confidence.
You're right.
Also,
you're right.
Miles Lewis Skelly's season this year, like the breakout has come with risk after risk
Yeah.
after risk. You've played him, so why can't we do the same with
No,
Ethan Ranieri?
no, you're right, actually, because our last Premier League game, we started Raheem Sterling at the right wing.
Exactly.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And I think this persistence with Odegaard, it could be the death of Arteta. Because this guy is a parasite. Saka was playing through injury. Ben White was playing through injury 2 seasons ago. Chelsea players have been playing through injuries. See, it's happened before. So if you're fit enough to play, I'm sorry, you have to be good enough. If not, don't play.
Don't play him, 100%. That's what it is.
And look, again, this is another reason why at the start of the game they played for our press. Odegaard, who usually is our best pressing trigger, was just running for whatever reason. He didn't get the ball back. He didn't put a good pressure. And look, this is the main reason why we missed Thomas Partey. It's not because Declan Rice can't dictate at a 6. Partey is much better than Rice at doing that. I'm not saying that. It's not because of this, not because of that. It's because when Partey's in the midfield, Rice doesn't have to do a 3-man job. Because you have 2 competent midfielders there.
Yeah.
That game, it was Rice. Marino was obviously trying to hold up the ball. But look, again, it's ineffective. With Rice at the box-to-box and Partey, you have a solid midfield that know what they're doing. And then you can just about get away with Odegaard doing absolutely niche. Now you can't. Because Marino, he does not fit the midfield in this system.
Yeah,
It's at this moment of time. So now you've got Rice trying to drive forward, trying to hold the best midfielder in the world. You know, I'll debunk that. I love them, all 3 of them, beautiful, fantastic. But I'm talking about this game, I'll debunk that.
Yeah.
And now you've got Marino trying to do a bit of, let me go forward and try and knock on the ball like he did against Real Madrid, whilst doing the box-to-box things. That's not what he is. That's not what he is.
Yeah.
So again, that's two destabilizers. Because Rice is inhibited and now Marino is inhibited. And now you've got Odegaard, who normally does nothing, and now is quantified because now you actually need to step up. He doesn't. But again, okay, cool. Now talking quickly about the midfield. You know, I see some people saying, you know, João Neves was incredible. He was. Defensively, he was. This guy, I think in world football, João Neves is probably the best at retaining the ball, holding the ball. He does not let it go. And he did some crucial last-minute tackles.
Some of them were so close to penalties, but then you like the one. I forgot which one. It was the first
Marino,
one, the
Marino,
Marino
yeah.
one. That he tackled it. I thought it was a straight pen. And then you watch the replay. All ball, so clean, like no mistake. Just the best time tackle that you could see from a midfield like that.
You have to get that right, and you have to be quick.
Yeah.
And he did. Then I see some people saying Vitinha was the man of the match. He was this, he was that. He got the UCL man of the match award, which again I don't think he deserved.
No, I don't think either.
And he gave it to Donnarumma, which is interesting.
That is interesting.
And I'm just going to quickly just read out some stats. I'm not a stat merchant, but players like these that are Vitinhas and João Neves is, when people talk about them, they talk about their ability on the ball, right? And how do you quantify that? You have to do it with stats. You know, with Declan Rice, for example, or Caicedo, right? Or like, who's another midfielder? McAllister, yeah? If you're a box-to-box player, you can't get judged on stats per se. It's more about what you do on the ball, driving, right? If you're a defensive player like Caicedo or like Gravenberch, for example, you're judged more on how you win the ball back and how many forward passes you do and this and that, right? Okay. So this is why I'm gonna base it off, okay? So Rice versus João Neves versus Vitinha. Who do you think had the most touches?
Rice.
69, Rice. João Neves 54, Vitinha 64. So it's close.
Yeah.
So Rice made 2 chances. The Martinelli one, which was a gilt-edged chance. Yeah. And if that's a goal, we're talking about Rice assist, and then the narrative changes. It does.
That's true.
And that comes again from him driving from CDM, about a 30-yard run against this midfield. That's a brave thing to do, right? Okay. João Neves created 2 chances, so they're equal there. Vitinha made no chances. Declan Rice made 1 big chance, which was the Martinelli one. João Neves didn't make a big chance. Declan Rice had 1 out of 1 successful dribble. Vitinha had 2 out of 2 successful dribbles. João Neves didn't have a dribble. Rice won 7 out of 8 duels. João Neves won 7 out of 10 ground duels. And Vitinha won 3 out of 6 duels. Okay. Rice, 10 passes into the final third, which is more than Kvaratskhelia, Doué and Dembele combined. João Neves, no passes into the final third. Vitinha, no pass into the final third. And Vitinha dispossessed 3 times. So if we're comparing a 6 to a 6 to a kind of 6.5, which is what, like, you know, Jean Neves and Vitinha are, because Fabian is the more expansive
Yeah.
kind of attacker. Stats show that Rice is better, and in the game, Rice is better. I'm sorry, he was. There's not even me saying Rice
Do you
because
know
I
what
love
it is?
Rice.
I think it's the way that Arsenal look to Rice the more than them. Because if you like the way that the PSG midfield kind of work, all three of them are kind of like intertwined. They play to each other, and of course they lay off to their fullbacks and whatever, who are all technically gifted. Understand? They can rely on everybody to take the ball. And like you're saying, in this type of rut that Ødegaard is in, and of course the type of player that Marino is, he's not really a he's a midfielder, but
Not in the system.
not in the system exactly. That Arsenal players are all looking to Rice, understand, to be the attacking threat, to be the person. So of course I feel like he's gonna have all. You could probably compare that stat to all the Arsenal players except for Saka. That Rice probably had the most passes, touches compared to all the Arsenal players.
Yeah, but
And the same for all the creativity will be from Rice and Saka.
But this is the funny thing. This is supposed to be the best midfield in the world, which I'm not arguing it's not.
I think out of the three, I think it is. As in, like, in terms of, I don't think they're the best midfield in the world. I'm saying their three is better than your three, guaranteed. No.
Yeah, I'm not arguing against that. All I'm saying is, Rice was better than them. He was.
If we look at solely, then yeah. If we
The
say like that,
stats were there, and he was doing a 2-man job
that's true.
with Vitinha and Neves and Fabian. They all have the creative burden and the defensive burden. Rice is doing it all on his own.
Yeah.
And I'm not even just saying this because I love Rice and this and that. I'm shocked. Like the Doué and I love them both, but I'm shocked at this narrative that apparently we survived. That's not true, because there's a reality. It didn't happen, but there's a reality where we win 2-1. We win 3-0.
Yeah.
That goal doesn't go in. That's why I'm calm, because I'm looking at the game factually, not emotionally. I was very disappointed that we went 1-0 down, but I'm not an emotional fan, right? I like to watch the game as it is. I didn't see their front three attack us. I didn't see our front three attack them. But that's fine, because you're taking away Rice's ability. And Lewis Skelly, did you see that thing when he was in the midfield and he created that chance for Trossard?
Yeah.
With Partey not being there, all of that is taken away. So in Paris, 1-0, we're going to go there and win. I really do think so. I'm confident.
But overcoming that deficit, it's away from home.
It's a big ask. It is. It is a big
I
ask.
feel like they're more clinical than you guys. I feel like if they get a chance as well, they'll score. Like, even if you look at the Dembele goal itself, of course the Barcola and the Gonçalo Ramos just weren't clinical, and as an example of them not being clinical. But I'm saying the way that Dembele took that chance, it was nothing so.
Yeah.
It was nothing so flashy or the things that we associate with PSG. I would talk about Desiree is the next name,
Yeah.
and he's got that ability. Same with Maradona. And it was just a straight
Yeah.
pass across from Kvaratskhelia, and Dembele first time finished like a striker's finish.
And
And
that
I don't see that in Arsenal.
that's the only reason why the game finished 1-0. PSG had 30 minutes and they maximized that. Fully maximized that with clinicality.
They killed off that atmosphere. They killed off everything.
We had 60 minutes and we didn't maximize. That's the way I see the game. So I think we can win. Again, we scored from a set piece, which was offside, right? We can get them at set pieces.
That's true, 100%.
We can. Just
Alright,
one question. So, 60 minutes into the game, how many passes do you think Odegaard did in 60 minutes?
8.
Okay.
How many passes?
Yeah.
In what?
In 1 hour into the game.
Successful passes.
Passes.
Just passes in general.
Like 15?
9.
Wow.
This is the captain, the incredible controller, which I think he is, but it's supposed to be 9 passes. I could do that. On my life, I could do that. I'll just stand next to Ryan, just stat pad, right? Little touches. 9 passes. What's going on? And I just mention someone on that picture was the youngest Englishman and youngest Premier League player to appear in a UEFA Champions League semi-final at 18 years and 215 days.
Wait, to start or just play?
Appear.
No,
18 years and 215 days.
What, MLS?
Madu Skelly. Before Waneri came on.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
oh my God, man.
Yeah, a very, very good game. Very, very good game.
Hakimi, Doué, Kvaratskhelia. Who wants it? Because you're not coming here, mate. Do you know what I mean?
See, but that's what I'm saying. But Arteta got a lot of criticism. I mean, I was mentioning before about
playing him in
not playing in midfield.
Yeah.
And of course, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the rant by
You
lead
could have
judge.
then had
Did you see the
Marino
lead
up front.
judges? Did you see the lead judges rant?
I did, but look, again, look, I understand both points, but from a manager's point, I understand what the team he did.
Okay, no, but don't you think that he can go in midfield and what?
Yeah, that's why
you
he's
had
been playing
Kieran
at
Tierney on
youth
the
level.
bench.
Yeah,
Yes,
you had Tierney as well.
yes, I think in the game he should have done that.
Yeah.
Starting, I think.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
In
But
the
I feel
game.
as soon as that you see the goal, the game kind of turned to a place where you guys could be maybe more
You could have then
attacking.
put Marino back up front.
That's what I was
Yeah,
saying.
you're
That's
right,
what
yeah.
I was thinking.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, no,
what
you,
I
you're
feel like
right, you guys
Trossard.
are right,
I
yeah.
mean, we've seen a lot that Trossard can't really do that thing up top. So
He's the weirdest player I think I've ever seen in the history of watching football, because this guy is so technically gifted, and on his day he's incredible. Left-footed, ambipedal, you know, got 45 pace, but he can beat his fullback like no one else can. He can twist up defenders. He
He's
can
so
score
clinical.
from left foot,
Yeah.
right foot, outside the box, finesse shot, chip. But then he has days like PSG where he does absolutely nothing, and him with his back towards goal is disgusting. Offers absolutely nothing, and the guy just hogs the ball. He just holds the ball. He doesn't pass it, and for a guy that's got so much technical ability, his technical security, in terms of not losing the ball, is so low. When he has the ball, he always loses it, or he holds it on for too long. I just don't. You're so intelligent with the way you play. Surely you understand when to lay off, when to run. Oh, I'm tired of him, man. I love him, but I'm tired of him. Oh man.
yeah, I mean that's true. That's true. I mean, look, what was I gonna say? I mean, how do you think the game will go over there? I mean, we need to
Arsenal
talk about
definitely
that.
score. You will score a goal.
100%. I think how it will start is
You score, I think.
Is Thomas Partey gonna be back for that game?
yes.
Yeah, it has to be, right?
I think
Oh,
we're
yes,
gonna
it's
score
ended,
early,
yeah.
just like they did. I
Yeah,
think we're gonna
I
score.
think
I
they'll
think
score early,
there's gonna
yeah.
be early pressure. We're gonna win a corner. We're gonna score the set piece. Now PSG's got a decision to make. Now the game's gonna open up like it should have in the Emirates, where it's a level game now. Now we're gonna see the brilliance of Arsenal, because now you're gonna have a party there and a Rice. Our two biggest chances was the Lewis Skelly and Rice running through the midfield, and they could not stop it.
No, that's what I was gonna say. I said this in the game against Aston Villa, when they did capitulate. That the main reason for the capitulation was Morgan Rogers and John McGinn just literally forgetting about the passing, forgetting about trying to be technical against their technical
They're driving
midfield.
at
They
them.
just ran.
There you go.
John McGinn, all he did
Yeah.
was put his bomb out and bang, it
There
ran.
you go. And do you think PSG can cope with that?
Nah, they
never.
can't.
Never. So my prediction is, I think PSG will score. I don't know, but do
3-1.
I see us scoring 3?
That's the problem, yeah.
I don't think so.
Extra time in
You
the
don't need to
pens.
score 3 though. You don't need to score 2 if you can keep to a clean sheet.
But I think they will score, just based on how the match will go. I think they'll hit us on the break. I think it'll go extra time. I'm saying
Extra time.
3-1 in extra time.
2-1, extra time, we score.
Yeah.
So what?
3-1.
In total, what do you think?
3-1.
3-1.
Yeah, 3-1. That's my prediction. What about you guys?
We'll have Abdul's prediction somewhere, but I forgot we forgot to mention Abdul.
Oh, yeah.
Where is he? He's going to Bilbao. Never. You think that guy will go Bilbao?
Peace at home.
Never.
Alright, go
Billy,
on
you that?
We're making predictions now.
Yeah.
Okay.
For second leg specifically.
I mean, I think very similar to what you say. I still think Arsenal go through, to be honest. Maybe, but, I mean, I don't know if you'll score 3 is the problem. So then,
Yeah.
but then would you win on pens as well? I don't know.
Oh, against Donnarumma, man.
Yeah.
Raya
Yeah.
in the shootout.
Yeah.
You did win
Call
against
it
Porto.
quits.
You
We did,
win.
but those penalties are terrible.
So, Grant, what do you think? What do you think?
I'll go
PSG against
3-1.
Liverpool, those
Yeah.
penalties were incredible.
3-1 Arsenal.
Yeah, 3-1 Arsenal, yeah.
I think it will be 1-1 in that leg specifically. So PSG will go 2-1 on aggregate, basically.
Okay.
1-1 though, you really think? I don't think
I think
that's
PSG will
happened.
get a
Look at that high
goal.
line. Look at what happened in the second leg versus
Yeah,
Aston
but
Villa.
I know, but
There's no way.
they're at home now. This was supposed to be Aston Villa. This was
They
supposed to be the
still conceded a
capitulation.
poor goal at home.
That's true, but I feel like they'll score. Look, the one thing that you can't, what do you call it, talk shit about for PSG is that their atmosphere that they can create. Their fans, did you see the way they
Same
were?
thing for Real Madrid. Same thing.
That's true.
I
That's true.
didn't say the same thing for Real Madrid. I for PSG fans, did you see the way they were running up at that flipping Emirates, man?
He is not getting away with it.
I didn't say that.
He didn't
No,
say
I
Real
said that.
Madrid.
I didn't say that the atmosphere was that.
Okay,
I just said they closed the roof.
Ref, have a
He's
word.
lying,
I just
he's
closed the
lying,
roof.
He's lying.
pull up the clip if you see it. Clip me, bro. But I think we won one. You see Abdul's one somewhere above us.
I mean, yeah, just to wrap it up, I'm calm. If I was panicking, I would be. And I'd say, I'm calm. Second leg, I'm calm.
All right. I mean, do you think that's enough for Arsenal? Are you satisfied? All right, then. We move on to probably one of the best club games I've seen in a long time. I mean, Barcelona versus Inter at, not the Camp Nou, at the, whatever, temporary stadium, whatever it's called.
Camp 4 now.
Okay.
That's good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
But it's 3-3. What a game it was. Something that we were blessed to see yesterday on
I
Wednesday.
think it's one of them games where you can't even fault a single player. Like, it wasn't one of them where, the other team played well because that player was not good enough. It was one where everyone was great. Like, everyone played their part. Even players that were less quiet, like a Martinez maybe, he wins the flick on for that first goal. To a goal within 30 seconds. All the goals were incredible quality. It was a genuine pleasure to watch.
It was ridiculous game. And, I mean, look, the build up to the game, we said previously that the Inter Barcelona game would be one for the tacticals. And it basically was. It was really very tactical. Yeah. And it kind of played the way that we kind of thought it was going to go in terms of who was going to be the spark, in terms of what would be necessary but how Inter would defend deep and be that defensive, solid, experienced team that we thought they were going to be, and also how Barcelona were going to use their youth, their agility, their balance, their dynamism in some of their wingers to really try and break that team down. It was basically attack v defense in that circumstance, basically. And of course, I mean, look, what were your thoughts before the game in terms of how you think it was going to go down?
I mean, I can't remember I predicted, but I thought Inter would be a lot more resolute. I can't remember, but I don't know. Maybe I predicted a 2-1 or 1-0.
Yeah, I think we predicted like a game where Inter would just see it through and they'd win it ugly.
Yeah.
And they did in the style that they played, but the goals, I mean.
But look, this is why 2-0 is the most dangerous scoreline in football.
100%.
And 2-0 so suddenly is the most dangerous scoreline in football. Because the whole week you're preparing for a team with the likes of Yamal and Pedri and Kubarsi and Rafinha and all of these players. Alright, cool. We're going to have a plan. We're going to play like this. We're going to counteract how they play. Right? 30 seconds in, that's taken down a notch. Because now you're like, okay.
They actually broke them down. And
yeah, because we know what... 0-0, 1-0, 2-0, 4... Barcelona are always going to play the same way.
Yeah.
Maybe not as intense, but the same way. How do we play now? Okay, cool. We just got to keep how it is. Calm, okay? We're still figuring out how to beat that press. Not the press, sorry. The high line. We're still figuring out how to do it. Now 2-0 comes. Corner, easy as pie. Now it's like, okay, cool. We still haven't been able to beat the high line consistently. They only did about 2 or 3 times up to then. And the whole half, they didn't really do it. So now it's like, what the hell do we do? Because our game plan now needs to change. Whereas Barcelona, they know what the task is. It was always going to be the same. And they couldn't cope. They couldn't cope with Barcelona coming at them. Again, when it's 2-0, your mindset is different for both teams. Yamal coming on, they probably thought we can handle him out wide with Di Marco. No, you couldn't. Embarrassing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? His hair is probably gone grey. You know what I mean?
He's already
Di Marco.
He's already bowling.
There you go. He's probably like 2 centimeters back. And it's look, and in game now you as players have to figure out what to do, because the manager, he can see that there needs to be a change. You can shout instructions, but you can't organize the whole team like that unless there's a water break or whatever.
And the feeling as well within the team.
Yeah, the feeling within the team.
That,
yeah, right. And then the Yamal goal out of nowhere, Messi-esque,
ridiculous,
undefendable, untactable, tactical, and everything.
You just can't stop it.
Yeah.
Absolutely sensational.
I mean, look, we didn't even talk about the first 2 goals for Inter. I mean, look, the first goal comes from Denzel Dumfries from Thuram, but cross from Denzel Dumfries in the first 30 seconds, and it was just a shock. Barcelona fans were still chanting like their anthem, whatever, right at the start of the game, and they got in.
Flicks it in.
I remember I saw a picture when when the goal was going in. There was just a guy who's like facing the crowd, like doing this like chance of trying to lead the chance or whatever. And he turned around and he sees, he was surprised. It's 30 seconds in, they're already 1-0 down. And then off a set piece, we know the type of physical and strength that
and height,
especially on that Barcelona team that they have, because Kubasi is not that tall. Inigo Martinez is probably the tallest player, and he's only like maybe 6'1" or 6 foot, and they got 6'5" Bisek and the strength and power of Dumfries to jump on. And bro, forget about strength and power. one flick on from Lautaro Martinez for the Dumfries goal, and his bicycle kicked in the net.
Yeah.
Explain how that happened. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But his their wing back is bicycle kicking the ball in the net in the middle of the box. I mean, that was a great start for them. And then of course, like you said, Messi-esque. I mean, Lamine Yamal, even when that first goal went in, and even when the second goal went in, that they already were looking for him. He was already getting a bit of joy. A few crosses in the box. Some of them were misses. Some of them were hits.
Every single action was just devastating.
Such a highly intelligent footballer.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
and we were talking
Highly
about
intelligent.
it in the Benfica game and the game against Dortmund, how the way he can cross a ball, it's a floated ball, and it's so easy for an attacker to anticipate and
There's also
try
that
and make a
ground
move.
pass he does. You know, sometimes
Oh,
he
yeah,
can't
the
see it,
ground
and
pass,
he just
yeah.
plays his instant ground pass.
Yeah.
along
It was the one that
and
went to
no
Ferran Torres, and he
or
messed
Olmo
up.
as well, and
Yeah.
it just constantly works. It never stops. Like, you can't stop it.
I mean,
And
look,
the
he
defense can't
he
handle
has something that I think only me personally, I think only Messi has been able to do. From what I've seen is the guy create angles at will. De Bruyne as well.
it.
Trent,
Yeah, De Bruyne can do it.
Trent, I'll give Trent, De Bruyne, Messi, Yamal. The way they create angles for themselves to shoot and cross on either foot, in any side of the pitch, is just sensational. And this is why those three, Messi, Trent, De Bruyne, are GOAT creators. You know, best. And Yamal's,
He's on his way. He's already
on his way.
The numbers of his assists that he's got. I mean,
and then that goal, man, oh my, just...
even the one that a bit after the goal, we were already feeling the hype, and then he goes and skims the marker
Yeah.
again, hits the shot off the right. No,
Incredible
ridiculous.
save by Jan Sommer.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
an incredible
ridiculous.
save. Yeah.
But then look, that shakes you as an Inter team, because now it's
Yeah.
like, what do you do with this Yamal kid? You're gonna have to double man press, but then again, that's not something that they've adapted in that game state. Probably that's probably something that they would have changed into the second half, which they did.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, now there's space for Pedri, there's space for Olmo, there's space for this and that. So I think they were within themselves, they were trying to come up with the internal solution of let's just stick to the game plan that we thought we would have played, and it just played into Barcelona's hands because constant attack, and Inter just kept just booting the ball forward. No,
They were losing it from the back, from tackles
Yeah.
from Yamal, from Ferran
passing
Torres.
it out from the back. Just
Yeah.
you could see they were messed up and they did not know how to deal with it and how to adapt in the game. Every time they got the ball, they booted it back. What happened? Inigo, Frankie would just pick it up, go again.
Yeah.
Let's go. And it's so important that they survived that first half in the way that they did. In the fact that they didn't go a goal down before halftime, right?
Yeah.
The halftime came, and then look, suddenly they 10
They were
minutes
definitely
in,
the better team in the second half.
Yeah.
By far
Yeah.
the better team.
they were able to constantly beat that high line. Some of them were off. The Mkhitaryan goal was just a toe offside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Dumfries the cross.
Yeah,
That's Trent level kind of
Yeah.
cross.
yeah, and Dumfries are sensational.
Yeah,
man.
very, very good. I mean, he's had some very good Euros performances for the Netherlands specifically. I mean, people don't really notice it too much for Inter because it's like him and Darmian, they kind of
Yeah.
switch around
Yeah.
depending on the scenario. And I mean, look, even before they went a half-time run, but Barcelona went up. They went up 2-2. Yeah, they went 2-2 with the Ferran Torres goal, the one where Rafinha heads it back again from a Lamine Yamal cross. So they go into half-time 2-2.
Pedri cross.
Was it Pedri cross?
Yeah, it's Pedri cross, and we'll talk about him very
Oh
shortly.
yeah, the Pedri cross.
We'll
Pedri
talk about him
cross.
very shortly.
But I mean, and what was it like? Only in the 63rd minute, in the second half, I think it was, where Dumfries scored the headed set piece goal. Again, we knew the threat that Inter were gonna have from set pieces, but just as quick as that, off their own set piece,
Yeah.
Imar Darmian and
Yeah.
Rafinha just
slams it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's unlucky for Sommer because he did get a
He
hand
does,
to it.
it's his save that
he
leads it
saved,
to hit
yeah.
it, rebound.
And maybe if he didn't touch it, he probably wouldn't have
He
even
just
bounced
hit in the
his back.
crossbar, yeah.
But it was his save that led to the basically unfortunate on goal for him.
Incredible technique on that shot.
Yeah, very, very good technique. But something that was very intelligent in terms of what they did because they know that they already seen that they conceded 2 goals from a set piece. They can't win it in the air against their tall, physical defenders. So they decided to go for something that's slightly more technical and just a straight long shot. And I mean, it was a great shot from Rafinha and it's a 1 goal for Sommer. So yeah, I mean, look.
And also, around 12 minutes into the second half, he did something really, I'd say brave, because he took off DiMarco, who's a really good player, and brought on a centre back, Augusto. And suddenly, Yamal's influence kind of shrinked in that game in terms of he wasn't able to cut it in from the wing at will,
Yeah.
which meant now he had to be take it down a notch and his actions had to come from crosses or come from the
More
middle
what
of
we're
the pitch.
more used to seeing. I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he kind of moved a bit centrally as well. He
Yeah.
kind of moved more to like the 10 kind of area.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that also is due to Daniel leaving the pitch for Fermin Lopez as well.
that was a defensive move by.
Yeah.
Flick.
But look,
Yeah.
they need to make sure they double man press Yamal because he's going to kill you. He nearly killed them,
He did. He basically did kill him.
and at the San Siro, I better not see if I see DeMarco, he better have Mkhitaryan coming to defend.
The
Or
thing is,
Çalhanoğlu.
he was there though.
Yeah, they did have
No,
the players on
but
him.
it wasn't 2-man press out wide. It wasn't.
Not out wide, but as soon as he would come in, like as soon,
But
then it's
that's
two
fine.
players.
But look, that's not look. You see the Yamal goal, right? If you're 2-man pressing there, you need to be careful because a penalty can be won
Yeah.
or a tackle can be won. You're supposed to close him out wide so he's not able to go in the middle. Why? Because he's gonna stop and then pass it himself into the middle, or he's gonna pass it back to his right back or midfield, right?
Yeah.
So that first goal he got, he was able to come inside, and it was I'd say it's lazy. It's incredible from Yamal, but I think it's a bit lazy from the Inter team because there's about 4 of you on him,
Yeah.
and you're allowing him to shoot. So you see the technique,
Yeah,
Just
it's just
so
like
easy.
100%.
and then in second half he wasn't able to take the wing on, which he's so good at doing because he can go inside and out.
I mean, look, I also think that one thing that people are not really pointing out as well with the way that Lamine was kind of like drifted off in the kind of towards in the second half thing. Of course, he had moments, but I'm saying that I think also the fact that Koundé came off, I think is very big. Because for me, is that that wing back to winger punch is very important for a lot of teams. For you guys, Ben White, Saka. For Koundé was making a lot of oblets, giving another threat for Denmark to think about, and that has a big effect, of course. And we saw it as well because after this whole Eric Garcia, he's not going past the halfway line whether he wants to or not. He's a centre back. He's not going to go, and they knew that. And they're also missing out players like Balde as well, who another miss that they didn't really mention. Of course, they missed Lewandowski.
Martin is a right-footed player.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but again, he was gonna go forward to help Rafinha, but it's not the same as Balde, who's got that even on his own can be that trickery, something extra that Inter have to think about. But when Eric Garcia is there, it's literally just Yamal on the right, on him on his own, basically, if you know what I mean, against their fullbacks, which is kind of maybe another reason why he drifted in the middle. But I mean, that midfield of Barcelona, I mean, you touched on Pedro as well, and you're a very big.
We could go on Inter because I think their midfield
go
is
on.
good as well.
The second half, Barella was.
Barella was
very, very
sensational.
good, yeah.
Wow.
I was a bit disappointed in Çalhanoğlu.
Yeah.
But Barella was brilliant.
Mkhitaryan was incredible. There was
Yeah,
one moment.
yeah.
I know everyone talks about Kabasi's tackle, but the
Yeah.
ball by Mkhitaryan just
Yeah,
flips it through,
yeah,
and he wasn't
yeah.
looking towards Thuram. Wow.
Yeah. A high standard game.
Yeah.
We're gonna and finally, rightfully so, we're gonna talk about the best player on that pitch on that night, the best player in the world in my opinion, the best midfielder in the world in my opinion, Ballon d'Or winner if they win the UCL in my opinion, Pedri.
Go on, then, you can talk about him. That's your guy.
Is that the reaction I'm getting for
I like him.
Yeah,
You like him?
we think that he's the best
Alright, this
midfielder
is
on
a
the pitch.
hybrid Iniesta Xavi player we're looking at.
No, I've
Yeah.
rated him since Euro 2021. To be fair, that was an all-time campaign.
I was there in 2021 season, or Messi's last season when Pedri came out. So I love this kid. He's my favorite player in the world, and I've seen him from a young boy. I've had my eyes on him since he was young, and he just keeps getting better. And it's a pleasure seeing him grow and mature. Oh man, sensational man. You know how people say, if you watch if you watch the ball, you want to see Busquets. If you watch the Busquets see the ball, or they say about Iniesta, or they say about Xavi, how he scans. Look at the way he scans about 20 times before he gets the ball. If you see these footballers, it's like you have a third eye. I was in adoration watching Pedri in that match, bro. The spaces he picked up for himself, the passes he did, always forward thinking. They could not get the ball off him unless it was a foul. How many times did he get fouled from Barella, from Çalhanoğlu, from Mkhitaryan? If the ball's fizzed into him, one touch and he's through that midfield, foul. Touch, foul. Plays the passes, kept everything ticking. The ball for Rafinha. I'm sorry, look, that's an incredible ball, by the way.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's not take away, because people were talking about the goal, but I didn't see anyone talking about that ball. That ball is rare in football. It is.
Yeah.
When do you see players, and I really wish it happened more, but when do you see players in the middle of the pitch playing a ball forward? Like Enzo against for Felix against, I think it was West Ham or so.
Yeah,
You know that
West
the
Ham.
ball he does over. Why don't footballers do that? Because it's such a
Well, you can
dangerous.
argue it's because of the defensive lines people play.
No, but
I know what you mean, the idea of it.
yeah, but it's such
they
a
don't do
but
it.
it's such a dangerous ball to play.
Yeah, it is.
Because as a defender, right, if you got someone hanging out the back of you, you're looking at the ball like this, right? Which means what? You can't see the player behind you.
Or on the side of you.
Or on the
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
You're looking like this. That's exactly what happened to Bissek.
Yeah.
6'5" centre back. 6'5".
Yeah.
He
Even Acerbi loses thing for Torres for the
and
game.
Cherby.
Yeah.
And what is he doing? He's doing this, and now you're vulnerable because if you don't win that ball, you're finished because you don't know what's behind you, right? So I don't know why that's not played more in football.
But it's a very technical and difficult ball to play, and it also relies a lot on the attack as well. But I think Pedri is the type of player that, especially in that game, the way he was moving, the unpressable, like Nurse, well, I don't know what you even call that. Just you call it unpressable basically. It's very unpressable. Like I think that performance is. I mean, we've seen this performance loads of times for Barcelona, especially this season. Where I mean, you're right. He should get a lot more credit. If Roger can win the Ballon d'Or, Pedri should also be in
and
that.
he's 5
that
times the
name.
player Rodri is.
Yeah, you can say that.
That's not even me just being disrespectful to Rodri. Pedri is the best midfielder in the world by a landslide. There's not one
that's true.
midfielder right now you could compare him to. Nowhere. Bellingham, no.
Yeah. Again,
Rodri, no.
it's like the the names you mentioned before. He's like the Xavi and Iniesta of
He's
our
better
gen.
than them at this age.
Yeah, I mean,
Iniesta's a bit of a weird one though.
What do you mean?
Iniesta, was it 18 or 16? I can't remember. Champions League final against Arsenal.
Okay,
That
no.
potential.
Not at this age, but he can be better than them.
you really think?
He can be better
If
than
he
them.
keeps the longevity.
He can
Yeah.
because he's so young still,
Yeah,
and he's able to do both their roles.
that's true.
You know how people say Xavi is better than Iniesta? Some people say that. I personally think Iniesta is better than Xavi slightly. I think Iniesta is the best midfielder of all time. He does both of their roles simultaneously.
Mm.
He does both their roles simultaneously. And I was in awe watching him, man. He's special. And he should win the Ballon d'Or, in my opinion. If Barcelona win, he should be Ballon d'Or. I wouldn't give it to Yamal. Why? Because you also have to look at league form as well. Pedri's only got 4 goals and 4 assists, but he should have so much more. Yamal, on the other hand, in La Liga, his numbers aren't there.
Yeah, you can say that.
How many assists does he have?
He has a lot of assists. Like he has
You
like
can
20
still
plus
say
a
it,
list.
And then that's the incredible
Yeah,
number
no, but
itself.
but in La Liga, right? It's like, you know how in the Champions League he always gets a goal or assist, always. You know how he's the youngest player to score in the knockouts against Benfica, all of that. In La Liga, he doesn't have the same pedigree yet. Is what I'll say. That's with a lot of wingers, by the way. I'm not discrediting. That's like Nico Williams. Look at his goal and assist for Bilbao in the league this season. It's not a lot.
Yeah.
When you compare it to the Premier League and stuff like that. Wow, man, incredible, man. That game was sensational.
That was a ridiculous game. I mean, look, it's one for the neutral specifically, and
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun.
I mean, look, what are predictions? I mean, how do you think it will go down at San Siro?
I want to draw parallels to, so I think, 2006-07, United played AC Milan. Obviously, remember the Kaká solo goal, stuff like that. And it was a 4-3 game at home for United. Very entertaining game, but then they go to San Siro. Milan smashed them. I think that's what's going to happen here.
Wow, you think they're gonna get smashed?
I think Inter Milan, especially because it's the San Siro, I think they're going to have a very comfortable
I mean, what
game.
do Barcelona play in the El Clasico this weekend?
I'm not sure.
I think they do play this weekend El Clasico. So and they need to win that game to basically, win the title.
Do you know what's mad? Inter were winless in the last 3.
Yeah.
And you think that would have played a part against Barcelona.
Yeah.
The fact that they scored 3 and they drew, imagine how much of a lift that is. Because now they're thinking, we came with the worst form of the season. They just beat Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey. They're in really good form. And
Yeah.
we're able to go toe-to-toe with them. And in that second half, I think they outclassed them slightly.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think it was slight. I think they were much better.
yeah.
I genuinely think they were much better.
Yeah.
They were breaking.
And I could just quick mention to Inzaghi.
The
He
adjustments,
made
yeah.
the required adjustments.
Mhm.
What people criticize Arteta for in the PSG game, Inzaghi said, I'm not doing that. I'm going to do what's required of the game. What Emery didn't do against PSG, that's what he did.
Mhm.
Whatever. Wow, man. Bringing on Augusto was very important.
Yeah, very important.
Making the defense, bringing on Fratesi,
Mhm.
taking off Martinez, who I think he was a little bit injured. But anyway, Taremi, He was really
He was
good.
alright. Yeah, he was solid. He was solid.
He was very important to them having a good half because why? Because in that second half, Taremi was a big reason why they were started that game so quick.
They were
The
able
second
to
half.
win the ball so consistently because again the aerial duels that he was winning.
Yeah. And he made that chance. I think was it Fratesi when he played the ball into the box. I can't remember now, but yeah, special shout out to Inzaghi. He just showed his tactical nous and his this is his team. You know how you talk about Flick Barcelona, Arteta's Arsenal, Luis Enrique's PSG, and how they kind of manage their teams. I think out of those four, Arteta and Inzaghi, they have the strongest grip on their team in the sense of they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Inzaghi knows, and look, Barcelona have been raved about this season, and rightly so. But that second half was incredible, and that's all down to Inzaghi.
Yeah.
That's all down to
100%.
Inzaghi.
I mean, look, we mentioned it as well before in the predictions as well that the high line of Barcelona could get exposed, and you were saying that it would be brave for them to play that high line against Inter Milan. And in the first half, we didn't see enough of Inter Milan trying to actually get at that high and expose them, because the way and people in the second half really saw how suicidal that high line can be. It has a big effect in their press, in their attack. But the way they were defending, they literally were just letting them go in behind and just playing chase. They're playing catch up. But of course, they got the defenders like Kobasi who can catch up.
Yeah, but did you see that chance, that thing he had?
Which one?
Was it Thuram, where Kobasi had to make that tackle?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
That position was wiggly.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. They kind of let it happen. Like they make sure to. They're like so stern
Do
on
you
the way
reckon
they
they'll
play.
actually do that again in the San Siro?
They will.
That's what they are. But I'll be very surprised if they don't score at least one directly from the highlight.
Yeah.
I'll be very
Yeah.
surprised.
I mean, they
Same.
scored them already in this. They scored 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
Even if they don't score from the
Stadium.
high line, they're gonna go forward, create a shot, corner.
Yeah.
They can score from the corner.
Because
Like they did against Bayern Munich twice
Yeah.
at the San Siro. So.
100%. I mean, look, is that enough from Barcelona, Inter? But we need to give predictions. What do you think's gonna go down?
Man.
I think I'm not gonna let my prediction go. I have to predict Barcelona win here.
2-1 Inter.
Oh.
I'm going 2-0 Inter.
Oh wow.
I genuinely think they're gonna have a masterclass. I think the adjustments I was seeing in that second half,
Yeah.
and now he's got a whole week to prepare. I just can't see a note going that way.
I
Can't see it.
think it's gonna.
Yeah, this
be
game suits Inter more than it does
He's
Barcelona.
Yeah,
much
100%,
better,
of course
so
it
much
does.
better, yeah.
One. I think it would be a shootout again. 3-2 Barcelona.
Ooh.
Did they have penalty takers like that? Yeah, Miles, I mean.
No, I don't think it would penny shootout. I'm saying it would be shootout in terms of
Oh,
both
right.
teams would be scoring.
And just another slight reason why I have Inter in front, they've been to the Champions League final.
Yeah.
They've been to the semi-finals.
Experience, yeah.
This Barcelona team is very raw, but this is a team that will dominate Europe for the next 10 years, 100%. But they don't have that experience yet. You can say with the De Jongs and whoever.
Inigo Martinez.
But
I
then
guess,
your
but-
core of Kubarsi, Pedri, Yamal, they're all still so inexperienced. Rafinha's never been at this level before. Ferran Torres is like a kind of a two-bit player, you know. He was never seen as the main guy, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, he did win the Euros with Spain. You can say that they do have Euros experience, but
Champions League's a bit different.
Champions League is different. And I think Inter have been the underdogs for a few years, and they like that,
Yeah.
and that's why they've been able to.
I think they'll
Propel.
make it very ugly for Barca.
Very ugly, yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's gonna be an ugly game
It's
for
gonna be-
Barcelona.
All right, so
Yeah.
move on to the Europa League game. The Man United versus Athletic Bilbao, of course, happening, well, off-time recording in the evening. But I think Man United fans are going to this very confident in terms of the way that they're going confident because this is all they're relying on.
They're at home.
No, is it actually?
Are they at home for the
No.
first leg?
They're at Bilbao. Yeah, they're at Bilbao. They're at Bilbao.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're at Bilbao for the first leg.
Okay, so that is important. Yeah.
So
Is Sanchez back?
I'm pretty sure he's injured.
Sanchez, I don't know if it's Sanchez.
No, I'm pretty sure
He's a
Sansa.
very nice
I'm
player.
pretty sure the Sansa and Nico are both injured for this game.
Oh,
No,
really?
Williams is
back,
fine.
isn't it?
Williams
Is it?
is fine.
Yeah.
Williams
Oh, is it? Oh, I'm pretty sure that.
Is
he was
Sansa
Sanchez
injured.
might be. Yeah, he might be done.
I think Sansa is injured. I remember people
That's a
saying
big
that
miss,
both.
man. He's their top scorer.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
good.
and I mean, I was gonna mention that their midfield and look, their people might are underestimating Bilbao. They're fourth place in their league in a very competitive league this season.
And they've conceded the least goals in the Liga.
Really?
They are the best defense in the Liga this season.
Wow, I did
Yeah.
not know that.
Yeah.
Really?
What is that?
Yeah.
It's saying that Sansa it looks like he's out,
Oh man.
guaranteed out.
And they're managed by Ernesto Valverde,
Yeah.
who, you know,
I mean, look,
I think a bit of an underrated manager.
yeah.
Yeah.
But-
He does have a bit of a ball job in him.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
does.
He does.
But look, if we look back at the game against Rangers, they kind of comfortably went through 2-0 with a Sansa penalty and Nico Williams' goal in the second leg. And they went for 2, that's it. They didn't concede a goal. And remember, people forget that they also finished second in the Europa League group stage table thing. And United didn't finish. They basically scraped their way in.
United were undefeated, mate.
They were undefeated, if you want to say it like that.
I felt disgusting saying that, man. Well, I need holy water.
But my problem is that United go into, because the last thing that he has to, for this season specifically, to work for basically, and that they've been kind of, resting a few players in the league, playing the kids, playing a few Harry Mass and stuff, who they probably shouldn't play the rest of the season anyway, that they think that because their players are rested, and they'll have basically a nearly full fill line, except for Amadiol, who's back in training, but I doubt will play this game, especially the first leg. They think that they have the advantage on them. But I think they're underestimated because we haven't seen enough of Bilbao. Of course, many of us haven't because they're not in the Champions League and we don't watch the Liga that much. But their performance in the Europa League have been impressive. One player I remember I saw someone talk about was Vivian, their defender. Been very good for them as well. Nico Williams, of course.
Euro winner.
Yeah. Nico Williams, of course, had a very good game. Unai Sam was always safe in goal. Was he the Euro Spain keeper? He was. So, United are probably going in this as underdogs, but United fans are acting like the main men in this tie.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, look, do you think that Amram can get a win here in this leg?
Not a win, but I don't think he wants to win in the first leg.
Nope.
But do you think they'll win the tie?
No.
Really?
That's a whole different thing.
It's not heavy now. I'm saying it like it's heavy now, and because look, United have pedigree. They have European pedigree. They won the Europa League twice. They are the much bigger team, and they are the team with much bigger expectations. So you have to think the players have to rise to the occasion. I'm saying no based on the two styles and the two tactics and the matches. I'm not saying no emphatically. There is 100% a reality where Man United go through because they're Man United and because they, like they did against Lyon, they somehow do it. But I'm talking stylistically on the matches, I think no.
But I feel like that Lyon game is such a red flag. Like the way that they went
They
down
conceded 2 after 10 or
something like that. They conceded 2. They went down 2 goals and then, I mean, they pulled it back, of course, through miracles. I think Lyon bowled it, in my opinion, that terribly. Like, I mean, the Tolisso red card, I think, was so...
Disgrace.
It's crazy.
Disgrace.
And it changed the game for them. Tolisso was good in that game for them. And Tolisso was good in terms of the season for Lyon. Especially their late title, not title charge, I mean, top 4 whatever race for them. And I don't think Bilbao got that in them. They're a Spanish team. You know how they're going to play. And Nico Williams, I think... I'm not saying that he will,
Who's he up against?
Mazraoui and Lenioro. If they both start.
You know how it's amazing that every European game this season, I don't know what conference league because I'm over there, so you can maybe
I'll fill you in. Depends what you say.
Fill me in,
What did you say?
But every kind of big game, there's always been that standout winger.
That doesn't happen in the conference.
Due and Kvaratskhelia against Aston Villa, for example. Rashford against Aston Villa. Saka in the last game. Yamal in the last game. Whoever it is, and even in the Europa League, Ryan Cherky, I think had a really good game against Man United. I see some people say he didn't, but I think he was really good. So I think this game will be the one to watch for Nico Williams. I think you're talking about United and all these big expectations, but what a story that the Basque region team that only retain their players and they make their product.
Yeah.
They make their product fresh. And they sell it off to the farmers market, but they never buy from other farmers.
Yeah.
What a story that would be
if
Spain, who are so dominant in European competition, imagine if the San Mames could bring one home.
Yeah.
What a story that would be. These players are Bilbao at heart.
Yeah.
How many Man United players can we say want this? How many Man United players can we say want to play for the badge?
Yeah, and I mean, Nico Williams even said it that for him the greatest achievement of his career was the Copa del Rey win with Bilbao, and of course that's what you're saying. They can only play with players from their region, and in Williams and Nico Williams, the Williams brothers, are they brothers?
They're brothers.
Yeah, I mean they've been doing very good this season for their Champions League run, which they probably will get Champions League at this point, and they could have both lightning quick. They're both clinical in front of goal. I mean, they could have a very strong game, and depends on who lines up against for United. I mean, it's going to be a very tough game for both their wing backs.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I'm a big fan of Lenioro. I am, but I watch a lot of United this season.
Yeah.
And when there's a tricky winger, he falters.
Yeah, sure.
The
Sulemana?
last game.
Sulemana as
No,
well.
Sulemana, yes.
That was a
Dean.
good one. Yeah. Okay.
Incredible. But that last game against Leon, I forgot his name now. The Afro dog.
Oh, Malik
Oh.
Fofana. Malik
Fofana.
Fofana. Yeah, Malik
That was a
Fofana. He
very
came on the bench
impressive,
and it was
yeah,
a
that was
thing.
very good.
Very,
you
very
talk about
good.
that whole United
100%.
side.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get past him. He won a penalty.
Mm.
So I think they need to be very careful how they approach the game, and they need to make sure I don't know what they do with Nico Williams, but Mazraoui against Nico Williams. Hey! That's only going one way. That's only going one way.
I feel like that's the problem, that the wing backs don't really mark their wingers that
No,
well.
they don't.
They kind of leave to the centre backs.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think Luke was predicted to line up for them at the left centre back role.
What a sad end for him, man.
Wait, it's not a funeral for him. He's got for Zeke and Archie Williams. Relax. He's not.
But you know how people are saying start Amas over him? And
Oh,
I
yeah.
would.
Yeah, 100%.
I would. Luke Shaw is... Oh, man. Yeah, sad.
It is.
I mean, look, it's a lot of things. Apparently, Joshua Zirkzee out for this game. Lissandro Martinez
Yeah,
out for this
Zirkzee's
He's
out,
game.
out for the rest of the
Xerxes
Oh, yeah, he's out for it.
yeah,
Yeah, I
Xerxes
forgot.
out.
Delict apparently doubtful.
Oh,
which
that's going
is-
to be a massive miss.
I think Delict probably will start.
Because imagine they play Lindelof again. I'm sorry, yeah.
yeah,
Sorry.
suicide.
Done, yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
And
look.
Onana in the San Mames.
Oh,
The
yeah.
light's gonna be too bright. Is Nico Williams gonna lash one and he just palms it?
He's gonna cut in on Euro and just absolutely just
Yeah.
Rocket.
yeah. He's
Know
gonna
what I
put a
mean?
rock in the top corner.
I mean, look, maybe. Look, I mean, what do you think is going to go down? What's the predictions? What do you
Oh,
think?
man.
First leg at least. First leg
I
First
think.
leg for tonight.
2-0.
At the Bilbao.
2-0 to Atletico Bilbao.
2-0 Bubba. I'm
Yeah.
gonna copy you.
Ooh.
Yeah, it has to be. I think second.
At
one
Old
much
Trafford
harder.
they can score.
Yeah.
I don't think they can here.
Yeah.
3-1. I think United will get a goal.
I don't think
3-1
Amorim
Bilbao.
even wants to really press or attack like
Yeah.
that. They're gonna be defensive.
He needs to say to his players, let's just take it back to Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Let's take it back to Old
Yeah,
Trafford.
that's true. 3-1, I think 3-1. And yeah, is there anything
Tottenham?
else you want to mention?
Tottenham got Bodo Glimt.
Now they did.
We don't
beat
talk about.
Lazio.
We'll give a prediction for the Bodo Glint
Yeah,
game.
look, mate, it's just who we are. I win things.
Well,
You
where's
know,
the
yeah.
first leg?
I'm not saying. Actually, no. This is a good question.
Check
This is a
the
good
first
question.
leg.
First leg.
What's the
Yeah.
good question you got?
I was gonna say. Actually, no. That's not a hard.
No, I
one.
got an answer question.
Tottenham win the Europa League.
Yeah.
And Arsenal don't win the Champions League.
Why would I ever want that?
After
No,
last
I'm
season,
saying
do you
so.
think
It's
he's,
all the other way around.
What do you
Actually,
mean?
wait. That's no stupid. Wait.
after last season, do you think he's gonna ever
Wait.
say
No.
that?
No. Tottenham win the Europa League.
But Arsenal don't win the Champions League.
No, but
No.
that's
That's
a lose-lose.
No. Tottenham win the Europa League and Arsenal win the Champions League.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'll take that. Of
Really?
course I would, yeah.
Of course he'd
I've seen
take
Arsenal
that.
fans must not say that. I
Nah,
wouldn't.
that's silly, man. That's silly.
That's just pointless.
Look,
You've
I
won the
actually
Champions
don't hate Tottenham. I don't.
Really?
No, the
Wow,
only
they're little
the only
bros.
team I hate, that team over there, the bunch of cheaters.
Oh, look
League.
at
You
me.
didn't even hate
cheating
us
teams.
back in the day.
No, I hate Chelsea, but because we've been challenging with City, I actively hate them.
Okay, Tottenham Bodo Glint is at the Spurs.
I hate you.
Alright,
I
not
hate
me.
you.
Don't treat me.
Put it on camera.
Alright. But yeah, they're playing at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium now for the first leg.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So how do you think it'll go down?
And we talk about the story about Bilbao.
Yeah,
Imagine
that's
Ad
another
Bodo
Postecoglou.
Glimt, bro.
Yeah.
Now imagine Ad Postecoglou.
It's true, but true.
For all
He's
the
been
for all the
in the-
sackings that
Oh,
he's
yeah,
trying to
true,
get
yeah.
threatened with, for all the all the things he's taken
Yeah.
from the Tottenham fans, he delivered them in the Europa League.
If I'm him, win the Europa League and leave,
Yeah,
That would be so
Leave.
funny.
yeah,
leave.
that's a statement. Yeah.
and just say something cold, like you know how Mourinho said, "I won the trophy, like
Yeah.
one and a half trophy."
What, like Ten Hag? I
Yeah.
won 2 trophies,
No,
eh?
just say something like you know what I mean, like I don't know, losing, I don't know, but just leave. But
He's
no,
got to say mate at the end of it.
Mate, as
yeah,
well.
mate.
Yeah.
Look at that. Man, look, it's just who we are, mate.
Alright, go on then.
I think Tottenham are going to be too strong for Bodo.
Hopefully not.
Again, look, I haven't watched Bodo.
I won't even.
Um,
But they knocked out Lazio, the people that are
They
top
were
the Europa
favourites,
League.
They were the favourites.
They did. They did.
You know what? I think it's gonna go down as a.
I think one of the English teams make it.
I'm going to say a draw. I'm going to say a draw.
If we're talking about the tie,
I think 2-1. I think Borgland will scare early on, give him the the sucker punch, and then Tottenham quality will take over.
but then at their stadium, their ground.
Maybe we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Man. I'm going to say 2-2.
All right. And what's your prediction?
I think Bodo Glimt will have a very good showing, but 2-0 Tottenham. Like, will be one of them ones.
All right, and then do you want to talk about Chelsea in the conference? Do you want
I
to
should
talk
do
about?
prediction. I should do prediction.
Yeah.
All right,
Who are
who you playing?
I don't know. Check their name. I forgot their name. No, they beat Rapid Vienna, who were like third in the table. So
Chelsea.
they're not terrible.
I think it's some Romanian side. Right, we'll fact check.
They're
we'll
a
fact
pretty
check.
new team. They are a pretty new team.
They are playing against. I can't read the name.
Can I say?
Djurgården.
You're playing in a garden. Well, what's going on?
They're
Well, we are playing away from
Djurgården
home.
IF.
I can tell you the pattern usually has been
They're a
played
Swedish
terrible.
team. They're a Swedish team.
We played terrible in the first half, but second half we just turn it up and we score a couple goals. Take it back to Stamford Bridge. We go for it.
They're coming into with bad form. They got one loss at the Swedish league.
Oh my god. How many losses?
I think they play a summer league, so they play
I
during the
see.
summer. So they've only played 5
I
games.
think Tyler George will get a goal today.
Tariq George.
Yeah. Who's that?
Evil Saka.
Yeah, even Saka.
I prefer
Saka.
Sakaya Back is a better name.
Sukayo
Ooh,
Baka
yeah,
is crazy.
That one's a
Yeah,
better name.
yeah.
That one's a better name.
No, but Evil Saka's that funny, innit? Like,
Yeah.
he's coming to stop good Saka. You know, like Mega Man, where he creates Metro Man.
Yeah.
No, Metro Man.
No.
What's his name? Titan.
Oh, Titan.
That's
That's the
Chelsea.
name.
There's Tariq George.
All right, go on then. What's your prediction? What's 5-0?
Under the
6-0?
cup, what he says, I'm not gonna lie. Under the cup.
2-0.
Ah, 2-0.
4-0? Chelsea?
Oh, thank you. We take that. We take that.
I mean, you should be that confident. I mean, you're playing in Sweden, so I don't know why you're here still.
Shut up.
All right.
Okay, move on.
All right, I mean, look, that is the games that we need to talk about. I mean, there's not really much else to talk about. 8 o'clock today, under the lights. You guys playing Djurgården. Hopefully,
We
you
will
guys
be there. We will be.
possibly do it. We look around. We'll turn for the final when Anthony plays against Chelsea. That's so mad.
They're in it, innit?
Yeah, they're
We will lose to
Fiorentina.
Betis, I'm just saying that.
Anthony scored against United, didn't he? Chelsea, didn't
No,
he?
he had
Oh, he won
he did that Trevella cross to go.
Oh,
make
yeah,
sure.
yeah. And
He
he won the
plays good
pen in
against
that
us.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's good
yeah,
against
yeah.
us.
Look,
He's good against Chelsea.
imagine Anthony, Real Betis, Conference League. That'd be crazy.
He should leave United after winning the trophy.
Yeah, I
Do a
agree.
cold statement himself.
All right, I mean, look, I mean, that is our Europe roundup now. You know, not Champions League roundup. We're focusing on other stuff as well. But yeah, Europe roundup. Yeah, it should be a very nice watch for you guys. Very, very interesting. You know, hopefully you guys enjoyed that Barcelona Inter Milan game and our analysis on it. And yeah, I mean, look, we're back. Break to Press is always alive. We'll give us some new ideas. We need some new ideas to, you know, keep us going.
Season is ending soon, so
Season is ending,
let's
so
see
we
what
need some
can do.
special stuff to do.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know what else we can really do.
I'm saying that we just like going to cricket or like basketball.
Oh, to be fair, I like a bit of tennis. Wimbledon.
We're
and
talking
that.
about tennis, yeah.
I'm
talking
talking about
about
the
tennis.
snooker. I'm talking about snooker.
Snooker.
Okay. Anyway, who cares, alright? I mean, look, like, share, subscribe. You know how it goes. And make sure that everyone's watching. You're watching every flipping video. Go back and watch all of them, please. And yeah, share around to your dad, everyone. Abid, any words?
Look, we appreciate your support. It's helping us a lot because the budget's increased. We've got a good studio. We've got a flag, and we've been able to get Drake.
Yay, we
So-
got Dre.